you'll look in a scenario in which all the Muslim nations unite, which would make a pretty strong nation with Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, Iran, Turkey. Would definitely be in the top 10. And their first mission is to get rid of enemies. And they do succeed in them taking out their first target. Israel. Yes, why not? Also, the borders will look better with this. As now the African parts of this empire and the Asian are connected. Not all Asian. But some nation doesn't like this. And it's not a surprise. Right, you do have a big blob of nations united on your border. Not attack, most likely, but yeah. As India starts its invasion, as it quickly takes over Bangladesh, makes a landing in Indonesia's areas, and lands into Malaysia's northern area. As they head towards Karachi and Islamabad, which will be two major cities in this unification, although the capital would probably be hard to say what it would be. This place would definitely have 1 billion people, I would say, with the populations of Iran, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Sudan. As India has taken Islamabad, with forces still not arriving to take India back out of the land. As India starts arriving into Afghanistan, as their front starts to close to become smaller. As their front line becomes smaller and harder to maneuver. They also go north of Afghanistan. But as they start entering like Iran's area, they also make a landing in Arabia. It looks like India is going to take out the nation, but now starts the counter-offensive of in the Asian and Oceanian parts. This is a major attack. They also make a counter-offensive in the Gulf, the Persian Gulf. As they get pushed back into Pakistan, as their zone of control becomes pretty small. Because I would say they would be about equal in strength, but they couldn't take over the full nation. Plus, manpower probably is close, the maximum manpower. But really what you need to focus on is the fact that it would be hard for India to sustain a war here. Basically, what the Green Team would go to is to wait for them to lose their interest in the war as much to keep fighting, as morale lowers over years of stalemate. Then they start their offensive, and by now it's probably 2030. With a few bad things going to happen, including a Kashmir offensive. I don't think they could invade far into India. And India might have secured Bangladesh. With them invading here. Mostly up here, because this is the area they want as part of their country. And they take the capital of India, which is about there for some reason. Why? Yeah. As they move towards Mumbai. With India managing a successful counter-offensive. With them eventually meeting for peace, because they've been fighting for 10 years. But yeah. With this empire declaring that China is oppressing its religion in their country. With them coming to peace negotiations, and the peace negotiations go favorable for the Muslim empire, declaring they are the protector of Muslims, which works. As they declare war on Ethiopia, Eritrea, they declare war on Cyprus, they declare war on Armenia and Greece. And Serbia declares war, and then basically you know what happens. Also, Kosovo is technically part of this union. And let's see how the Ethiopia campaign goes. As they invade through Somalia, and invasions happen through Sudan. This is also another one to unify the empire. With taking out Montenegro and then a march, they actually successfully do this rather fast. Also, NATO doesn't exist, but to expand their influence into the Balkans better, they also go after Bulgaria and Northern Macedonia. They still haven't signed peace treaties with any of these nations. Not to mention, they also go after a few nations because they can. Yes, I mean, that's just because they can. And it also would look better for them to control all of North Africa and Central Africa, basically, except not really. Because some of these borders are just not great. And no, I'm not making them invade because I don't like the borders. There's a reason why they're invading. Russia's probably going to be a target at some point, or China. Or both. Because they are getting bad relations with China at this point. So one sec for against this with unlikely allies. Russia, Georgia. Who else? China. India. Yep, they all team up against this union, as they want to see the union of Muslim nations fall. They want to remove this empire. With Russia's goals being to march in from into the south, the quick capture into the Caucasus, move into Iran, while China and India focus on this front, with India making big advances into the areas they once occupied. And with China and Russia taking out Kazakhstan areas, but as we know, they're not going at a good chance. Well, at this point, they have a good chance of winning, but with this basically being up to Europe and North Africa at this point. Of course, there's Indonesia, which arrives troops and launches one of the biggest counteroffensives in this video. And as you can see, they take back the coast to the Mediterranean. And they now cut off supplies through the Bosphorus Strait and the Suez Canal. And sink any ships that come there, as they have set up a naval blockade there. So India is cut off from ocean trade. And this being most of their forces being routed at this point, with them launching a campaign to go retake Tehran. As Iran is one of the major parts of this empire, their advance speeds up in this region, but they don't take it all back. They also advance through Iran, and this being the anti-Muslim coalition. Nobody seems to want to join it. With them this time being ready to rout India. By rout, I mean take in a week they managed to do this. And then India's people not happy, with a landing succeeding by the Indonesian area. With India being forced to sign a peace treaty at this point. And at this point, everything's gone downhill for the red team, with a government overthrown in India right before they gave up. Them advancing fast into China, the fastest physically possible. They move so fast that they don't know how they got through the mountain. After 5 years of fighting, they get to there. And then Russia, during this time, they managed to do this. Russia said, no, we don't want peace. So then they decided to do this. And I used a bad color for this. But anyways, Russia and China gave up. They all meet for peace in the Treaty of Lagos. Because it's in Nigeria. Yep, that's America. Now this is the America joke. Because who doesn't like America jokes? With America showing the world they're the world power. Definitely not because this nation is trying to become the strongest in the world. After an American vessel was sunk in the Atlantic, America invades. And them setting an example by how fast they take over the Pacific Islands. Yep, that's the end of the video, for sure. With them landing in Africa, with them taking out here. With them running through the Iraqi areas. Yep. And then they land in Algeria, Morocco areas. They move into Libya fast, as they can. They run down the Nile. Yep, they take out this part of it. They move and re-liberate Israel, because they had nothing better to do. They make Everai a democracy. They run right through Bangladesh. They run in through the rest of the nation, and this is how the nation fell. Although that's not important. We're just here to watch what happened, not how it happened. And yeah, there's no peace treaty for that. The nation's just turned into democracy, and so on. It's left around as a democracy, a puppet of the U.S., if you will. Which a lot of people don't like, but basically they've become a U.S. puppet. But that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. But not until you subscribe, so please subscribe, guys. Thanks for subscribing. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. Bye, guys.